Okay, people, so as a lot of you know, the 4L30E usually doesn't have like a very long lifespan in one of these vehicles, either Trooper or Rodeo. So, one day I decided to get a transmission temperature gauge and I installed it. And I saw that driving around town, the temperatures go all the way up to 240 degrees. Just driving around town. And keep in mind, my Trooper is stock, I have stock tires, I don't have anything heavy in it. It's a stock vehicle, driving around town, 240 degrees. So I got the cooler. This one right here is a Hayden 679. And it made a ton of difference. Transmission temps won't go above 190 now. So that's exactly where you want them to be. And installation was pretty simple. Right here I just drilled a couple of holes so that I could use bolts, then build some brackets so that I could bolt the cooler, and it's working nicely. And the plumbing itself was easy. I followed this diagram that I'm gonna leave right here. So it's coming from the transmission to the factory cooler, to the factory cooler, to the external cooler, and then back to the transmission. So at first I was a little bit skeptical about it. I was like, well, I don't think I need a cooler. It's just stock vehicles, I said at the beginning of the video. But it's a must, for these transmissions, you should have a cooler, especially if you're going to off-road and whatnot. The cooler might look a little overkill, but I'm actually happy with it, and I'm glad I got it. So, installation was not bad, The hardest part was probably installing the hoses, because they didn't want to slip over the factory lines, over the fittings. But other than that, it was very simple and it's working great. So if you want your 4L30E to last a long time, you should definitely get a cooler. It even started shifting better once it's warm. It doesn't feel sloppy at all anymore. And in case you're wondering what gauge I got, this is the one. I'll post the link for it on the video description. So I installed the gauge first and I went for a drive around town. And the temperature, well, this gauge has temperature alert, and that kicks in at 220. And just driving in traffic, it started to beep. I'll post the video of that. And after a while driving in traffic, it went all the way to 240. I think I even hit 250 at some point. So that's way too hot. So no wonder the 4L30E doesn't last long in one of these vehicles. But the cooler really, really helps. So you should definitely get one. And a gauge if you want to, well, to have an idea of how hot the transmission gets. The installation of this bad guy wasn't hard either. The wiring is pretty straightforward. You just need battery power, switch power, ground, the signal from the lights so that it dims at night. And I installed the sensor on the test port and the transmission, and it all went very, very smooth. So I'm very happy with this setup, the gauge and the cooler. And so now hopefully my 4L30 will last a long time, especially now that I'm planning to add some bigger tires to the Trooper. So yeah, thanks for watching, and as always, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can.